Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, I thought we'd go ahead and start talking about the next upcoming event that will be paired alongside the new Uma and support cards coming out. And so that event is going to be, as you can see here on the August schedule they posted, this is the last thing in August, with the next part coming out next month, and that is going to be the story event Racing Hearts Beauty and Bloom. So this one is dealing with Mayano Top Gun and Air Groove. And it is getting paired alongside the release of their alt skins, the Wedding Mayano Top Gun and Wedding Air Groove. Now, no, they're not just skin changes when it comes to these alts. While they'll have like similar stats, basically the same stats, they'll be proficient in the same areas. They have like a completely different skill setup when it comes to their alts, as well as gold skills in that. I'll be making a separate video on them, as well as the support cards will be coming out alongside them. The one nice thing about these big event ones is it basically is now there's 2 rate up Umas on the banner and 2 rate up SSR cards. What that means is they're both 0.75% chance rate the pull, so you actually have a 1.5% chance to get one of the 2 rate ups. Now, as you know, that kind of sucks. Like if you're like me and you pulled on the Super Creek banner, you MLB'd Tazuna, who you didn't really care about, rather than getting Super Creep pulls. So you can say that kind of the same thing here with maybe pulling for the Uma and the support cards. You'll run into that same situation. I will say the nice thing on at least the Uma banner is, say you're chasing one of them, Mayano Top Gun, you're going to guarantee at 200 pulls since you don't care about dupes. And on the way there, if you pull a bunch of, say, Air Groove wedding ones, you may 5-star her before you even get to your Mayano Top Gun, which just having a 5-star Uma, I think, can have some value as well because they start with higher stats. And so, overall, really good there, but I'll talk about them on individual videos here over the next couple days. Instead, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the event itself. And so if we actually look here on Game Tour, we have kind of all the details on it. It's going to be just like the other 2 that we've had. So we had the special week one when the game launched, and then we had that second event with the Kida-san Black, Sanato Diamond. When their sport cards came out, we had that event with them, and it's just like that. We have like all the people and cards that'll kind of give you a bonus points that you'll accumulate as you're doing your career. That'll slowly move you up a rewards as you get a current amount of. So right off the bat, you're going to get a lot of rewards really quickly as you get points, and then all the way up to 700,000 where you get the last reward, which is 100 carats here. But overall, tons of rewards will be packed in here. And since we are now working on Gemini Cup, you should be doing a lot of parent farming, which is going to help you accumulate a lot of points anyway in the long run while you're working on them. So you should naturally just be able to get up to those levels through doing it. And yeah, I mean, all the rate-ups are basically the characters that are part of the story. So Mayano Top Gun, Air Groove, the new SSR cards, as well as the new free welfare SSR card we will be getting. And so that's kind of the big thing that is important with all of these events, is they all are basically giving you these welfare SSR cards. And so this one is a Majiro Dorber. It's a Wit card. And so you will be able to MLB this one completely for free. So very important, especially for the free-to-plays, to get, even if it's not the greatest card in the world, because over the long term, you're going to start accumulating these, and they'll have their place potentially, whether it's building a parent or maybe even for your ace at some point in the future. You never know. So there's no reason not to skip them. Just remember, you can get all the copies needed. One of them's through those point accumulations. So I think it was a 400,000 points to get the first copy there. You'll get 3 off the spinning wheel, which as long as you're playing, you're going to get tons of tokens to spin the wheel. It has a built-in pity, so you are guaranteed to get it as long as you're doing your daily playing. And then you also have the last one with the story mission, which will be the easiest one to get, because all you have to do is, if you don't want to pay attention to the story, you can just skip through it and get the card at the very end. And so this is the card that you get. It's a Wit card. So Wit cards will have their value when it comes more to the shorter tracks, when we're not trying to pack in all this stamina like we had to do for medium and now a long race. So we will see value in wit go up here when we get the next race. I believe we'll start actually using some wit cards because it's a mile length instead in the Cancer Cup. And so looking at this card, it is... So the unique effect increases effectiveness of training performed together. Always like that on my Umas or my sport cards, because that brings value to them not only for their own stat, but when they're floating around. If they land on another stat alongside other Umas, that can be very, very good. I'm already, like, that's kind of what I'm looking at, like, right now, preparing for the Gemini Cup, is, like, I'm trying to use speed cards that have the training effectiveness, like Biko Pegasus, because it's 15%, and I need to hit stamina and speed as many times as I can to get them both pretty much max. And so Biko Pegasus is good when it lands on stamina as well as speed. And so it has that value there. Same thing with a lot of the wit cards. A lot of them have that in there, and that's part of the unique effect. Then you have increases stat gain from races as well, which that will be important in the future. It's I think the third or fourth scenario that'll come out where you actually get a lot of your stats gained from races themselves. Now, the only negative thing is total race bonus at MLB is only 10%, but 10% is good enough because, like, from what I've heard, in that one, you want at least a minimum of 50%, and 5 cards at 10% can get you there. Now, you want to definitely try and get the ones that have 15% to bring it up more, the couple that'll be out there. But this one should be usable in that aspect. Friendship bonus, 30%. That's going to be when it comes to the wit training. Mood effect, when training with her, so you're taking advantage of the mood. Initial friendship gauge is at 20. Special priority, 35. Wit bonus 1, and then wit friendship recovery. So when she's actually on wit, you'll get more energy, which is nice, getting that little bonus. I could see that being very valuable when you're doing, like, especially like with a sprint champions meeting where the focus is on speed, power, and then wit to try and get all the skills that you're packing in off as much as possible. And being able to get strong recoveries when they land in wit could be pretty useful there. Now, like I said, this is a welfare card, so this one's definitely not as strong as we see with a lot of other cards on that. When we look at the skills here, it's kind of a mixed bag in what you see. Now, I will say, it's got Kyoto Racecourse here, but we've seen that on the other welfare cards we have, like the Major McQueen story card, as well as the Rice Shower one. And I believe this is on the rare McQueen card as well. I'm pairing that one for the right one. So, not really useful in terms of apparent building currently because you have so many other sources that get it that are better. But it also has Sunny Days, Late Surger Savvy. So, Late Surger Savvy's got the value if you're going to be running your Late Surger going into Gemini Cup. Maybe you could use this card as one of your parent cards to try and pull both of these. The reason this, because greens are going to be so useful because you're going to just have a naturally low wit. But this is a nice green, is in it'll increase your wit without you having to... It's basically an increase to wit without you having to hit wit in training, and because then you can focus on speed and stamina more. But there's definitely better options out there than that. Nothing too crazy with those skills. And then the gold is dealing with widening, and like effectively useless right now with the field of view stuff. So the gold's pretty garbage there. So nothing too crazy with the card, but it's a free one that can be picked up, and especially if you're free to play and you're very limited in your support card options, especially if you're brand new, which I will be making a video on people that are starting off now that haven't had access to running the Key to Sun Black and Super Creek banners, so they having to figure out what to do now with their lack of support cards and win the poll. But something like this is a massive pickup for you just to get something good, or well, something that you can MLB and utilize potentially, especially in the future. So overall, pretty good with that on the event. And then everything else in the event is just, it's your typical event. You're going to get tons of rewards. You're going to stock up a lot more on these clocks. As you're doing your parent training and you're trying to get those URA sparks, you're definitely going to blow through these a little bit more so than you may have in the past. If you're hitting your stat points in that. Tons of the support points as well. I know people like me, especially if you pulled on Super Creek pretty heavily, you're probably struggling on these. So you're getting a lot of there. Some more TP pots in there and that. And then you do have polls, like usual. Random carrots and currency and all that. So overall, pretty good. Nothing crazy in this, so don't feel rushed. Don't feel like if you're not going to reach the bot. Like, the main goal is reach the SSR. After that, it's kind of just bonus on everything. You only get, what, 1 pole and 50 carrots if you can't get any farther than that. So don't stress out too much. Well, there's also 2 tickets here, so that's like 3-ish poles, 3 or 4-ish poles. So it's a decent amount of poles, but nothing too crazy to worry about. Getting to 700,000 is a lot easier than that first event, I will say. That was like, I think it was like 1.5 million they wanted you to get at when the game is brand spanking new. And you're waiting on Kita-san Black's banner to come out. It was pretty crazy because I didn't even get close to the top of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the event. Like I said, I'll be going over the characters in separate videos. Probably tomorrow will be my Auto Top Gun and then Air Groove the following day, which will then cover both of them before the launch day. And then I'll just talk about the actual support cards as well right before it launches on the 28th, which I believe is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So, but yeah, that's it for now. And if you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.